this episode, this live, is called Your Goals Are More Important Than Your To-Do List. And this is a concept, a belief that I'm really personally really passionate about helping you step into, helping you put yourself first, prioritize yourself. And I want to talk about some really core beliefs today that are potentially getting in the way of you being able to prioritize your goals. So before I do that, I do want to let you know that the doors to the Put Yourself First Sisterhood are now open, which is very exciting. We are open for the month of June, and so if you want to be in community with like-minded women whilst working on your goals and manifesting your dream life, this membership is the only subscription you need for mindset and manifestation work, because you are receiving monthly support with both upgrading and leveling up your mindset, working on yourself, as well as manifesting your goals, sharing like the framework I share with my one-to-one clients, the exact ways that I work with clients. I know a lot of you might be interested in working together further and just want to get started in some way, just want to, dip your toe in, but also have the opportunity to connect with other women who are doing this work, who are just like you. And so that is what the Sisterhood is all about. It's the community, but it's also that investment in yourself every month. And it's the most affordable way to work with me. It's less than £1.50 a day. It's seriously a no-brainer to get started and give it a go. So if you have any questions on that, just hit me up in my DMs, let me know, and I will make sure I get back to you. So with that said, I want to talk to you today if you are ready to get off the train of busyness and being in your to-do list week in, week out. You're ready to actually stop the burnout and overwhelm cycle. You're ready to stop reaching Friday night feeling flat, feeling frustrated, feeling like the weeks are just flying by, but you're not moving forward in the way that you really want to. And you're ready to start putting yourself first and start living for you. So if that is you, if you resonate with that, then stick around. We're going to be here probably for the next 45 minutes or so. And I'm really excited to help you step into living in a way that prioritizes your goals, your dreams, so you are gaining momentum and you are moving forward with your dream life, and not just living in the day-to-day busy hecticness of your to-do list. Hence the name of the coaching today being Your Goals Are More Important Than Your To-Do List. So many women come to me feeling like they're so busy that they simply can't make time to move forward with the things they really want to do. And so if that is you, I just want you to know you're not alone. And you might be feeling frustrated right now. You might be putting tons of pressure on yourself. You might be thinking that I'm already so busy, my life is already so full. How am I going to move forward? How am I going to make time for XYZ if I'm already kind of getting to the end of most days feeling like there's still so much more to do? So I want to give you an opportunity today to take that pressure off, to recognize, to take that step back, to recognize perhaps some patterns that you might be in, to help you get off that cycle, get off that roller coaster and start moving forward. And so a big reason why you can get stuck here is because you are focusing right now on just getting through the day. And I know I say this many times, when you feel like you're just surviving, you're in survival mode, like you are just trying to reach the end of a week without combusting. A lot of the times women come to me in that mode where they're not moving forward, they're not gaining momentum, and they're simply just trying to get through the day, get through the week, because they are so stuck. And I've shared, in today's title, in the episode title, your to-do list. That could be anything, right? It could be you working in your business. It could be the amount of responsibilities you're juggling. It could be all the life admin that just overwhelms you and takes over your day. Right now, it's very likely that you are feeling so stuck in that you're not able to take that step back and look ahead to the future. And a lot of it has to do, when we dig a little deeper, a lot of it has to do with some core beliefs and the way we're approaching our goals and our to-do list. A lot of us are I want to say like our own worst enemy with this. And so I want to cover 3 beliefs and 3 approaches right now that you are bringing to your to-do list, to your productivity, that's actually hindering you being able to move forward with your goals. So let's dive in. And I've made tons of notes. If you see me looking down, I'm making sure that I'm covering everything. So belief number 1, and this is so common. You think that things will calm down next week. So you tell yourself, this week is busy, but it's okay because things will calm down next week. Or it's okay because once this deadline at work is finished, then things will calm down. Or I just need to get to this milestone, and then once I've hit that, then I'll allow myself to chill and things can calm down. And I really get it, because when you think about it, it's really encouraged and glamorized still in society to fill our plates with priorities, with deadlines, with commitments. And it's kind of this balance still as well of, I think women are really expected to do it all and to have it all and to be it all. And so often that pressure is causing and is compacting these periods of our life where we literally, you don't have a moment for yourself. And so I get that it's easy to get stuck in that cycle where you keep saying, things will calm down soon, things will calm down soon, things will calm down soon. And yet they don't, and you're like almost 6 months in to 2023. And if anything, things have sped up. Things have got more busy, things have got more hectic. And something I always think about with this topic is, do things actually ever really calm down? And it's almost this fallacy that it's like this lie that you might be telling yourself in your head that if I can just reach here, then all of a sudden all this stuff will like magically go away. And I'll all of a sudden have more time for myself. Because it's this deadline's fault that I'm busy, or it's this particular life admin thing that I'm sorting that's causing me to be busy. But if you're someone who tends to get stuck here, the reality is there's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be something. If it's not this next deadline, then it's going to be another one. If it's not this over here, then this thing is going to mess up and you're going to have to deal with that. There's always stuff happening. Life is always happening. And an analogy I was thinking about as I was making some notes and thinking about what I wanted to share today is a car's accelerator. So if I'm driving my car on the motorway and I'm in the fast lane, when you have a busy week, when you're working hard, when you've got a lot on your plate, you are essentially that accelerator. You're pressing the gas down and you're moving forward, you're gaining that momentum. You're using more energy, you're speeding up, you're moving forward, like you're in that busy energy, right? And so it's that car picking up speed, going on the fast lane on the motorway. If I am driving my car and I'm on the motorway, I'm picking up speed, let's say I'm going at 80 miles an hour in the fast lane, can I just all of a sudden slow down and take my foot off the gas and all of a sudden the car's going to slow down? It's not, is it? That's not going to happen, because what is happening when we're really busy is we are building energy, we're building momentum, we're pouring all this energy into that work project or our work or our personal life, social life, whatever it is right now that is feeling overwhelming for you. It's actually really hard, if not impossible, to just suddenly go, right, I'm done with that now, I'm going to rest, I'm going to make more time for myself, I'm going to make time for these goals. Because if you just take your foot off the gas, that car's going to keep going. And so we think that we can all of a sudden go from 0 to 100, but then from 100 to 0. And the reality is that rarely happens, because this is the thing, when you have a full life, when you have a lot on your plate, there's always something to do. There's always the next week. The to-do list isn't gonna disappear, but I think we tell ourselves that lie that it's going to disappear, it's going to be done, and then life will be somehow magically different next week. And so if you want that full life, I'm here to say, you can have it all. You can have everything you want. You can have your dreams, and you can have a full personal life, social life, look after your health. Like, you do not need to compromise. And that also means that you have a choice. You can either allow that accelerator to just keep being pressed and, keep moving forward and stay busy, or you can choose to manage it and choose to switch it up, switch lanes, allow yourself periods, even throughout the week, where you're slowing down a little bit and you're switching lanes and you're going towards something else. And then you can pick up the speed again and things can be busy, but you're still taking those moments away for yourself. You're still able to prioritize the things that aren't urgent in the here and now, but are still really, really important to you. And that balance, finding your own version of that balance, is exactly what I help you with inside the Sisterhood and inside my one-to-one program, depending on the level of support you might need with that. So that is belief number 1, telling yourself a lie that things will calm down next week, things will calm down next week. And because they never do, you just keep putting off that, taking that step back and actually thinking, right, this isn't going to change. My life is busy, my life is full, and I want it that way. And so what am I going to do about it? how am I gonna change how things are to make it more sustainable, to make it work for me, to make it so that in 6 months' time I'm really proud of where I've come from and I'm not feeling frustrated because I'm burnt out and yet I've not moved forward. So that's belief number 1. Belief number 2, you treat your to-do list like it's life or death, and you put way too much pressure on yourself. Who here has spent time over the past 3 months and had one of those weeks where you feel that the pressure is on, and if you don't finish everything on your list for that week, that something really bad is going to happen? Like, you're going to be panicking, you're going to feel like a failure, you're going to feel like things are crumbling. I know I've been there in the past before I was able to find a lot of this work, and so you're not alone if that's how you feel. Like I said, a lot of women come to me and they're in this mode of like I said, survival mode, where they are so stressed and putting so much pressure on themselves to do everything for everyone, to be everything and everywhere at all times. And it's this belief in putting all that pressure on your shoulders and your shoulders alone that is keeping you and holding you back from the joy, from the freedom, from the life that you really, truly desire and deserve. So, I have a question for you, if you are someone who does this. And maybe let me know. I can't quite see the Instagram comments, but I think they should come through and I'll be able to see them, because I can literally see this tiny little bar of the comments. But let me know if this is something you resonate with and you deal with. And if it is, I have a question for you. Are you a brain surgeon? Are you a brain surgeon? Are you a nurse who works in A&E, who is saving people's lives when they come in and they've been in an accident? Because if for whatever reason you are, if what your to-do list entails is literally life or death, please feel free to disregard what I'm saying here. Please feel free to ignore what I'm saying. But what I do know to be true is that the majority of women who put this level of pressure on themselves to complete everything on their to-do list, it's not life or death. You are not saving someone's life by making sure that all your life admin is done today, otherwise everything's gonna go to shit. And that doesn't mean that we go the complete opposite extreme and we do nothing. No, not at all. But it's recognize that the energy and the approach that you bring to your to-do list is making the difference between you getting to Friday able to celebrate yourself, feeling proud of yourself, feeling good about yourself, able to switch off and move into your weekend feeling present, feeling like you can relax. Your mindset and energy and approach to the week impacts either that happening or you reaching the week and you nitpicking all of the things that you didn't do and all of the things that are on next week and all of the things that you didn't get time for. And yet you could have done the same exact amount of things. You could reach the end of a week and still have things to do. I will reach the end of this week and still have a lot of things to do. Because like we said in point 1, there is literally always something to do. We're not here to live a half full life. We're here to live a full life. And so we are juggling things, we do have lots of responsibilities, and putting pressure on yourself and treating your to-do list like it's a life or death situation is just unnecessary. And the irony is, most of my clients, I'm going to say all of my clients, get to a point where they are making more time for themselves, they are relaxing more, they are feeling more present with their loved ones and with their lives, they are feeling like they are going in the direction of their dreams, like they are moving forward, and they are still getting the important things done in their day. They are still focused, they're still productive, they're still able to get those important things done. Their life isn't, their life isn't going to shit because they're spending an hour on their goals each week. It's like quite the opposite. But we think that if we don't do everything on this list, that most of the time, at the end of the day, like we have created, of course, like it could also be from your work, it could be from family responsibilities, but a lot of the time, you've written that to-do list. You've said, I'm going to do 1,000,001 things this week. The irony is we think that taking time away for the bigger picture things, like taking the action step towards the career change you want to make, or spending an hour in a personal development workshop, or taking half an hour on a Friday to reflect on your week and journal. We think that those things are somehow taken away from this life or death situation that is, oh my God, I've got so much to do and I'm stressed and I'm in survival mode. But the reality is it's quite the opposite. It has quite the opposite impact. And when you start to put yourself first, when you start to prioritize what's truly important to you in the big picture, you actually end up shifting your relationship with time and shifting your relationship with your to-do list to the point where, don't get me wrong, I would love to have got more done this week. I would love to have been more productive this week. I would love to be further ahead with my projects this week. And at the same time, I can finish this week knowing that amongst a longer to-do list, and whilst I still have things that I want to do and I need to do, I've still got myself to the gym. I've still taken time out to journal. I've still done a meditation here and there. I've still sat in the garden or taken the dog for a walk or sat and had dinner with my partner. And none of those things have taken away from this to-do list. And it's that being able to manage the energy of a full life whilst having the bigger picture perspective that the things you are doing to do what's important to you and to move forward with your personal goals, that is not taken away from your to-do list. It's actually helping you speed it up. It's helping you, kind of remembering that car analogy, switching the lane and speeding up. It's like slowing down to speed up again, slowing down to speed up again. Things are flowing much, much smoother and you're not burning out. So that's belief number 2. You treat your to-do list like it's life or death and you put way too much pressure on yourself. And belief number 3, and this is a juicy one, a big one, a hard-hitting one. And so forgive me for calling some of you out on this. Busyness is a really great excuse for things to not have to change. And it really is when you think about it. Being busy is it's like the perfect excuse. Think about if you've been asked out by someone who you didn't fancy, or someone asked you to go to a certain event and you didn't want to go, or whatever, when you get an invitation that you don't want to go to, you want to say no. But maybe you felt rude, or maybe you didn't want to just be outright and say no. What excuse did you give to that person? You said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I'm not free on that day." Or you said, "Oh, I'm actually working," or "I'm busy with this," or "Oh, sorry, it's like that cliche, like cheesy, like, "Oh, sorry, I need to wash my hair tonight." The excuse we give when we don't want to do something is that we're busy. Yeah. Regularly feel pressure from not completing to-do lists that they feel like to-don't lists. Yeah, love that. Yeah, I really hear you. So, busyness is a great excuse, right? And if busyness is a great excuse, then what's happening with your goals, if you want to do something, or you want to change, or you want to add something to your life, and it's actually quite scary, the thought of doing that thing, or it feels like a big change, or maybe you're scared of failing, or scared of judgment, or scared of rejection. And we've all been there, where we've had one task that needs doing, like a really important thing. Maybe you're like, today I'm going to send the job application, I'm going to send that email, I'm going to finally book that class or that trip, or sign up to that thing, do that thing, take that step that is really important. And all of a sudden, it becomes seemingly way more important that you get your life admin done, that you do the laundry, that you deep clean the house or whatever. That classic procrastination sets in because it's easier and it feels safer to be busy with busy tasks than it does to do the damn thing and do the important thing. And what is happening when you're in that cycle, when you're in that procrastination zone, your brain is learning. Because if you're aware that you're doing that, and you've done it in the past, where you've got to the end of the day and gone, "Oh, I really meant to do that one thing, and here I am in the garden or doing DIY or like whatever it might be." Your brain is doing that in one area, which means that it's probably doing it in a lot of other areas, and it's learning that is a good strategy to avoid doing something scary. Your brain, your unconscious mind, is designed to keep you safe and designed to keep things the same. And so what's happening when you have one of those days where you go, "Ooh, I'm going to take this scary action," and all of a sudden you're doing laundry or tidying the house, and then at the end of the day's ended and you've not taken the scary action. Your brain's going, okay, so this is a strategy that I can use to help me not do that thing again. This is a strategy that's going to help me keep things the same. And this is how people end up in that cycle and feeling so frustrated and putting pressure on themselves and feeling like they want to explode because they're like, "Oh my God, it's 6 months in, or it's this time in and I've still not moved forward." and I'm always procrastinating, and how can I get out of that? Busyness is part of that, and recognizing that putting all this stuff on your plate is actually a really convenient way to avoid the things that truly matter. You're doing that for a reason. And of course, this might not apply to everyone. You know, there might be someone listening to this and the main thing that is showing up for them is the pressure they're putting on themselves. Or the main thing that's showing up for them is they think that they have to do everything for everyone. You know, there are so many different possible causes and root causes from a mindset perspective of why you're not moving forward with your goals and you're feeling so busy and stressed and overwhelmed in your to-do list. But I'm going to say for a lot of people, busyness is also a coping strategy, and it feels good. Think about like how praised we are for being busy, how praised we are for doing everything for everyone. And so it feels good. It feels like a quick win to have ticked off XYZ on your to-do list that day. It's not a quick win to apply for a job interview that you might get rejected for, and that feels scary. And so your brain doesn't want to do that. It wants to do the quick win. It wants the dopamine hit of doing the laundry and getting it done. And so we need to break that cycle. We need to cut that cycle. So let's move into some shifts and some ways that you can start supporting yourself to get out of this and to prioritize your goals, to put yourself first, to move forward, to get out of living and breathing and putting all your energy into this never-ending to-do list. Let's talk about it. The confidence to honestly say no to things will be liberating. Yeah, love that. Love that. Okay, so shift number 1. And you might, after you've heard this, you might just want to jot these down in your notes app. You might want to reflect on how you can apply these, how it's going to fit in with you and your goals in your life. Shift number 1 is start making decisions from a place of where you are headed and not where you are right now. When you think about the energy of living in your to-do list, the to-do list is like all of the things you have on your plate to do in the here and now. But making a decision to take a step forward that's going to potentially change your life in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, and that might be getting a workout in, it might be applying for a job, it might be promoting your business on social media. That thing that you're not focusing when you're doing that thing on where you are right now, you're actually doing something that's propelling you forward. And from a mindset perspective and an identity perspective and a self-image perspective, aka like how you view yourself, how you see yourself, when you can start making decisions from the version of you who you want to be in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, the version of you you are becoming, that energy is so much more expansive and so much more is going to propel you forward so much more than feeling like a victim to the overwhelming, hectic nature of your to-do list today. And this doesn't mean don't be present. This doesn't mean, you know, like live in the future and don't be grateful for what you have right now. Absolutely not. But when it comes to your goals, when you're moving forward with your goals, you are going, I'm doing this now so that in 6 months' time, my life is different. When I'm working out at the gym, when I'm lifting weights at the gym, I'm lifting weights at the gym because I want to be fit, healthy and strong when I'm 50 years old, when I'm 60 years old, when I'm 70 years old. There are days where the current me, present day Kat, does not want to go to the gym. But I know that in making a decision, not from the place I am at today, where I might not want to go, I might not feel motivated, I might feel stressed about X, Y, Z that I have to do today. But if I allow myself to just put that aside for that hour and go, this thing that I'm doing right now is me planting a seed, is me taking a step forward for me that is gonna positively impact my life, not just today, but ongoing. And if you can start doing that in 2 hours over your week, in half an hour a day, in 10 minutes a day even, you will start to feel like you're gaining momentum. And a really important aspect of this is having a vision, is having goals, is having something to focus on, and really feeling and seeing and tapping into who you are stepping into, who you are becoming. We're always evolving, we're always growing, things are always changing. And so we can either just be a bystander and a passenger to that and get swept up in that busy hecticness, or we can make conscious choices. And it doesn't need to be sack off your to-do list, quit your job, like go and focus on this. No, it can literally be 20 minutes out of your day. 20 minutes out of your day to do something for your future self, which is really exciting when you think about it. Shift number 2 is date your dream life and check in with your goals. And the reason I put date your dream life is, how many times have you potentially set a goal or thought, 1st of January, this is where I want to be in the next year, this is what I'm focusing on, or you've wrote down your goals on a notepad or whatever it might be, and then you put it in a drawer and you never look at it ever again. And it's gone and it's out of your head, and you're back to your life, you're back to that to-do list, you're back to that day-to-day hamster wheel. I like to think of that connection that I'm creating. Think of that connection you're creating. That thread of time that is where I am now and where I am headed and what I am manifesting, what I am creating. I like to think of that thread as this relationship. So you have a relationship to your future self. You have a relationship to your goals, to your dreams. And so if you have a relationship with your dreams, you wouldn't be in a relationship with someone and never speak to them and never call them and ignore their messages and say you like them and say you want them and then ghost them and never speak to them again. And if that's ever happened to you or a friend, you know that that isn't grounds for a healthy, happy relationship. And the other person who's being ghosted is going to go, oh, well, whatever. Like I'm not getting involved with that person. And so cultivating a relationship with your goals and a relationship with your dream life is such a beautiful thing to do. And it gets to be so simple. It gets to be, like I said, those 20-minute pockets of time. So something we do in the Sisterhood and within my work is we have a goal setting framework. So not only are you clear on your big picture vision for your life, but you also have this beautiful like trickle down effect of how you're moving forward in the next year, how you're moving forward in the next 3 months, how you're moving forward in the next month, and then even down further, a simple weekly check-in that is like half an hour, check in with your goals, check in with your to-do list, check in with the things you've done, celebrate yourself, plan your next week. And so you have these beautiful markers and these moments throughout the year where you are cultivating and maintaining that connection to that vision. And people think that, say, manifestation is just make a vision board and then it's done and like you just sit back. But a huge part of it is actually that structure and the action step and the day-to-day living and breathing it. And we can't do that. You can't stay connected with your goals if you're not thinking about them, and if you're ignoring them, and if you're, so busy in your day-to-day life today that you're not taking a step back to think, what would it look like this week to move forward? And how am I supporting myself to do that? And what boundaries do I need in place? What do I need to put in my calendar? What support do I need in order to make that happen? Creating that relationship with the goal, with the dream, whatever it is, and continuing to check in with it is so important. And that's a huge part of being inside the Sisterhood, because one of our most popular things that we share is our Manifest Your Goals calls. So every month we have a live call and we check in with our goals. You review the last month, you celebrate yourself for what you've done, and then you look ahead. And so the girls come every month, they have that accountability, that support, that hour of their month. When you think about it, like, what is 1 hour of your entire month to reflect and to set goals and to think about where you're headed and what you want to do and how far you've come and what you want to change and how you're going to do that. That 1 hour of your month, imagine where you could be in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, if you simply allowed yourself to date your dreams and make that connection with your goals. Really, really special. And the last thing I want to talk about, the last shift, and this is a really simple one, and you can literally start doing this today and notice a massive difference. And it is to set yourself up for success. So not only can you just say, I want to do this, I want to achieve this, I want to focus on this, cool, like off I go. But there's another layer to it. And this is, I guess, the put yourself first element, because the Sisterhood is all about putting yourself first and manifesting your dream life. And in order to manifest your dream life, in order to move forward with those goals, you need to be putting yourself first. And only you know what that needs to look like for you. And so having that accountability, having that support and that structure to think about, what boundaries do I need? And like I said, this is something you can think about and start implementing today, even if you don't join. What boundaries do I need to help me thrive? If I do have a hectic work schedule, what leaky boundaries do I have in work? Where am I overgiving? Where am I not prioritizing? Where am I just taking things on my plate without having a conversation around prioritizing it? And what can I deprioritize in order to make, if you want me to do this extra project, amazing, great, what can I take off my plate then in the meantime? It's those moments to consider, not just like, oh, amazing, I'm going to do this and yay, off I go, but actually what right now is not cultivating an environment for me to thrive. What am I saying yes to when I actually need to say no? Where am I overgiving? Even personal boundaries, right? So personal boundaries could be, what are the basic things that you know you right now are not doing? And if you did those things, you would have tons more energy, tons more focus, and be able to get that balance. Are you sitting in bed at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and so all of a sudden you go on TikTok and then an hour's gone by, or you're on Instagram, or you're watching one more episode of Netflix, or whatever it might be? Boundaries can be personal too. Can be calling yourself in to say, yes, I'm busy, yes, things are hectic, and where am I not looking after myself? Where am I actually doing myself a disservice by staying up too late, or by not taking 10 minutes to prep myself a really great breakfast that's going to fill me up for the day? Those basic things are so often missed out because it's always the fundamentals that go first when we're busy. And if you want to feel like you're thriving and moving forward, the basics are like the absolute foundations, and like the strong foundations that the goals and the momentum and the action steps sit on top of. Because without the foundations in place of the boundaries, the self-care, the sleep, the whatever it might be, like we're building a house on sand, and that's when you gain momentum and then you burn out and you need to, like, you get really ill and you need to take 2 weeks off work, and you're in that 6-month cycle of burnout, overwhelm, forcing your body forces you to recover. You're back to working, overworking, working too much, no boundaries, and the cycle continues. And so often it's the basic, simple, not sexy, by the way, not glamorous, not fun to talk about on Instagram, because it's not some cute like supplement or some fancy product that someone on TikTok is doing a cute little video about. It's hydration, it's sleep, it's like the basic shit. And so a big shift everyone can start making today is consider, how can I put myself first even 5% more? How can I improve my energy levels even 5% more? And we can all commit to doing that today. So I want to recap here at the end, in case anyone's jumped in halfway through. We have been talking today about why your goals are more important than your to-do list, and what beliefs, what mindset blocks, what perspectives do you potentially have right now that are contributing to you being stuck in a cycle of overwhelm and overworking and feeling like your to-do list is never ending, and yet at the same time you're not moving forward with your goals, you're not making that progress. And those 3 beliefs are / might very well be, and I often find with clients, belief number 1 is that you tell yourself that things are going to calm down next week and they never do. And so you stay busy, you stay overwhelmed because you tell yourself you just need to get through this week and then things will calm down, even though they don't. And so you stay stuck. Belief number 2 is that you put so much pressure on yourself and you treat your to-do list like it's life or death. And that energy that you're bringing to it is putting so much pressure on yourself that you're actually less productive and burning out even more. And belief number 3 or I guess mindset block number 3 is that busyness is a really great excuse for things to not change, for things to not to have to change. Your brain, your mind is learning that staying busy is the best strategy to avoid doing the things that are important to you that you're actually scared to do. And so how do we begin breaking that cycle? 3 shifts we focused on today to get you started. Make decisions from a place of where you are headed, from the place of who you are becoming and who you are stepping into, rather than where you are now. So make decisions as your future self rather than your present self. The second shift you can make is start dating your goals, start dating your dreams, start making time for the things that matter to you and check in with them. Create that connection and that vision so that you are staying focused on where you are headed and you feel pulled to move towards it rather than it being something that's shelved because you're too busy. And shift number 3 is set yourself up for success. So consider, how am I setting myself up to prioritize my goals? How do you need to put yourself first right now? What boundaries do you need? What do you need to say no to? Is there anything on your to-do list that you can take off, that you can delegate? You know, very much going back to the basics and thinking about not just what do I need to do, what do I want to do to move forward, but also what do I not want to do right now? What am I taking off my plate? What boundaries do I need to support and create strong foundations for me to thrive in this period? And that can be as little as 5%. How can I put myself first 5% more this week? So, with all that being said, this is the exact thing that you will receive monthly support with inside of the Sisterhood, along with a library at this point, like hours and hours. Like, I want to say, well, yeah, it will be over a dozen, because the Sisterhood has been going for 3 years now. Like, I literally saw in my memories this morning on my Instagram stories, 3 years ago today, 1st of June 2020, I put on my story, so excited to do my first official workshop for the Put Yourself First Sisterhood tonight. So I'm celebrating that today. I'm celebrating all the women who have walked through the doors of the Sisterhood over the past 3 years. And I've spent 3 years refining this membership, making it even better, making it something that is your support network for your goals every single month. So we have dozens of workshops, masterclasses, so many resources inside. That is your library, is your 24/7 access, anywhere, anytime you can access that. And we have our monthly calls to support you. So there's 2 calls a month. Manifest Your Goals call, which I've spoke about, where we go through the goal setting framework. You have your weekly check-in, which is this amazing guide that you get to do by yourself every Friday or Sunday. And that's our goal setting call. And then we also have our sister circle, which is the mindset work, the healing work, putting yourself first, being supported by a sisterhood, and really going deeper on the topics and the themes that really matter to you, that are going to make that difference and be that 5% shift in your life when you have that deeper self-awareness, deeper self-trust, stronger self-belief. The list goes on. So with all that being said, if you have any questions about the Sisterhood, you can reach out to me. I am more than happy to discuss if it's right for you, if you have any questions, if you want to say, is this covered, is that covered? Always happy to have a chat. And to let you know on dates, because I will get asked. The doors are open for the full month of June. So we actually close on the 3rd of July. So check it out. I would love to welcome you inside. And considering that we're coming up on the halfway point of 2023, and especially if you resonate with what we've been discussing today, this membership, this subscription could be just what you need right now, to have some cheerleading, to have some support, to have some accountability, to get you gaining some momentum and moving forward. Because at the end of the day, like, the reason I'm doing this is because I believe you absolutely deserve to live a life that lights you up, and the kind of life that you might have only dreamed of when you were little, when you're, even a few years ago. When I look at how my life is now, I'm blown away by what I've created because of the frameworks, the goal setting, and the mindset work I've done that I now share with you inside of this membership. So with all that said, I'd love for you to check it out, and I'll speak to you all very soon.